Hello.
Thunder's here, Dark,
Loud noises!
and I presume Torn is here. Okay
No.
then,
Loud noises!
welcome back everyone. For those of you who weren't here in the last 2 weeks, I forgot to send an update last week, but you didn't miss much. Essentially, people got out of the dungeon and also saw one of the 3 bosses that are ahead. Hold on, I'll just flash over to let you two have a look at it. Where is it?
Oh yeah, the baby. The baby
yes.
in the flesh tunnel.
Where was the baby? Where's the baby? Give me a second.
There's the baby tunnel.
You hid the arena. That's a thing.
There's the baby.
That's a thing. Which, you know,
He's
if
still
you ever
so
want to fight a
happy.
giant baby, that's an option.
Why are we playing Binding of Isaac?
You sort of have to tilt your head on the side, but it's so happy.
I'll try to like rotate. Tinder seeing disturbing things in the baby face. Anyway.
Come on, you can totally see it. Big grinning
I
face.
prefer not to look.
That's fair. Now, let me move that.
Yeah, essentially we were told that we could leave the dungeon at that point and then return to the crossroads. And there was 3 doors, each with a boss behind them.
Yes, one that smelled like acid. The other one you didn't investigate, but I'll tell you now it smells like wet dog, and that one.
So the second door we're fighting Torren.
Yes.
Second door, we're fighting Valpus.
Oh god. Valthus versus Wolf. That fight would take a while.
Constitution battle!
Someone hits the fast forward button.
Yeah, just fucking 2 con-based Blood Rangers duke it out.
One of them has DR, the other one has regeneration. Who will last longer?
Yeah, no, it would probably be a legitimate case of there would have to be like a bell every 10 rounds of combat for them to just like, alright, breather, some water, let's get back into the fight.
No, you couldn't do that because the person with regeneration would have an unfair advantage.
Yeah, but the person with regeneration will run out of rage faster because they were regenerating out of combat. Well, the person with DR would get to use would get to use that only in combat. Which means at the start they would be even, but by the end of it, the regeneration person will run out of regen, and the person with DR will get to just keep smashing.
I'm just going to avoid having any barbarian fights because I imagine they'll take a while.
Barbarian fights also typically result in one side dying.
I mean, yeah, barbarians. When barbarians get low, they die.
Yeah, just don't have 1v1 barbarian fights.
Everyone take a 2-hour breather. It's fine. But anyway, the party returned to the surface fairly successfully. You can spend the rest of your Saturdays or Sunday chilling, taking a bath. I imagine as Wolf and Aaron have made visibly plain that we are going to do, and resting, meaning the next again day you can awaken. Some of you have 2nd level spells.
Ippos puked mushroom spores over Aaron.
I mean, for Aaron, though, this is pretty visible. Like, when Wolf, of course, gets to the bathhouse, like, physically, he looks unscratched, unharmed, not even a bruise on him, yet his hair and body are caked with matted blood. Like, he hit rough today.
Okay.
It takes him a while to get clean.
Wolf, have you considered the fact that doesn't happen to most people?
What doesn't happen to most people?
The fact that you can just sort of walk away from situations with your arm lopped off?
Yeah, I think about it.
Okay. As long as it's on your mind.
I don't know why.
Okay.
But it happens.
Well, observation. You seem to be full of plants.
What are you talking about?
How to put this? As Aaron whips a grenade at your head.
Grenade explodes, slamming not quite critical to the face, but maybe to the side of the face. And suddenly the flesh just as the burn marks just kind of quickly, almost like vines kind of reaching over the blood vessels, kind of go over and pull the flesh back together.
Look at your arm and face. Okay?
As Wolf has described many a time, there's that green tinge that is like on the borders of your wounds as they heal.
Yeah, there's always this green glow that kind of emanates from the wound as it regenerates and pulls itself together. The color of a fresh gladed field with grass.
Would there be an appropriate knowledge check to just kind of look at Wolf and go, what the fuck's going on? It's a valid question.
More than a knowledge check, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but you can still get an idea.
Look,
I'm going to say
Wolf,
not for Aaron.
look, Wolf. I mean, you can see it now, right? I mean, that hit you in one of your eyes, but you have your other.
I just healed up again, like normal.
Yeah, I know, full of plant.
Look, he kind of shows his bloody arm. I'm full of blood. Not arm. Not plant.
When you were healing, plants went over the wound.
It's just like you get scabs over your wound.
Yes, I know, but no one else has plants. You seem to have some form of parasitic and/or symbiotic plant material within your body that seems to heal you and keep you alive. I don't know whether this is a good or a bad thing. However, it does seem to keep you alive. So I don't know. That's just literally the extent of my knowledge.
Wolf tilts his head at you, confused.
Okay, how to put this? You know how I repair Rusty, right? I care for Rusty, make sure he helps me, keeps me right, keeps me moving around like that. And in turn,
Yeah.
Rusty moves me around, helps me out with things, keeps me going. There's a plant on you, or in you, or somewhere on your person that is doing the same. You are that plant's Rusty.
He kind of pauses for a moment.
It has ambition and want for you to keep functioning and living so it can move and travel and keep going. So it heals you, and in turn, it lives on you. Probably why you also eat twice as much, thinking about it.
I think you'd eat more as well if that much of you got blown up.
Yeah, probably. It's something to think about. I don't know how you're going to approach that idea. I have no idea. I'm willing to help out if you want it. I just am at a loss for where to even go with that knowledge. It's not my realm of expertise. If you want help experimentation, I can do that too. But for now, you seem to be fine. If you're curious, I know the school medic has an interest.
Doesn't seem to like me.
She's more confused by you, not dislike you. There's a difference. Things you don't understand tend to be off-putting, I guess, is a way to put it.
You shouldn't know a lot about plants then, do you?
I don't know anything about plants. It's very off-putting to watch you heal randomly with plants coming out of your skin. Not that I think it's wrong, I think it's wrong. I don't think it's bad. I'm just concerned that eventually the eyes are gonna your plant stalks are gonna come out of your eyes and you're just gonna turn into a bush.
I'm not turning into a bush.
I know. I'm just worried that that might happen in the future. At this point, I have no idea what is the potential of happening to you. I'm concerned and worried and off-put. However, still my friend, and I want you to understand your current situation, like how I currently medicate, my muscular dystrophy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you should be interpreting it as a disease of some kind, maybe not symbiotic. I don't know. I have no idea. I just want you to know it's happening because you seem to be unaware for now.
I always something was happening. I just don't understand what.
Okay.
But you also don't really understand what.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I don't think anyone currently understands what.
That's kind of the only reason I got in. He kind of gestures everywhere around.
Yeah.
Speaking of gesturing everywhere around, as you gesture everywhere around, you see down the road. Is that a guard coming? 2 guards?
Coming towards the bathhouse.
Yeah.
Sorry. There was a rat. That was the explosion.
A rat was the explosion?
I threw a bomb at the rat.
The one on the left just gives you a very deadpan stare, while the one on the right just sighs and says, "If you could refrain from doing that in the future, please do."
Okay, will do. Rat's dead though, so we're good. I'll clean it up. It didn't harm any of the stonework.
They walk away. You just hear one of them muttering under their breath. God,
Not a
Yeah.
rat.
Anyway, I know I lied.
I mean, still no harm done.
Yeah, I know. It's the same difference. They would have probably taken offense if I threw a bomb at your face. But I did, so I just made a different excuse. Yeah, just if you want help understanding it, maybe me or Nell can try to do some experimentation. Because frankly, I mean, I could think of a few things I would like to try to better understand your situation. But currently, I've told you everything I know.
Mm.
I would also like you to look into the fact that you came up out of the water covered in kelp and stuff when you didn't actually swim through any kelp.
Oh no,
You
I just asked the kelp to come help me.
Most people can't do that. Maybe you should think about that.
I didn't know I could do that either.
Okay, cool. Maybe it's related.
I did that by complete accident.
Yes.
I mean, I can show you something.
Okay.
As Wolf kind of holds his hands out, and he's going to go ahead and gather energy. And suddenly you'll see kind of the bright verdant glow return to Wolf, but now in his hands you almost see briefly forming in there what almost looks like a small plant starting to take form, like a set of flowers, maybe a little bit of a bush almost taking form in his hands for a few seconds before it fades.
Where is it sort of sprouting from? Or is it just sort of levitating, or is it coming out of his skin?
Well, Aaron kind of trying to look closely as this is happening. It looks like each individual part's like kind of coming out of Wolf, but then detaching from him.
Okay. Right. You're certainly able to manipulate the plant that currently keeps you alive, because that came out of you, just so you know. But also, that was really loud. The guard's gonna come back. I'm gonna make another rat excuse.
I mean, you don't see the guards coming back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think they're just going to ignore us.
Fair enough.
On one hand, explosion is very explosiony. On the other hand, weird glowingness is probably a bit more normal.
I think that's power plan for the course here. Is like really blowing this, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Uh. Yeah. Okay. I'm not the most introspective person ever. At all. Maybe you can talk to Alana or Ash, maybe Silas about, I don't know, meditating on something. Because maybe if you meditate, I guess you could talk to it, because you're currently able to ask it to do things, as shown by your very bright and vibrant uh, plant display, I guess. Uh, Maybe you can get a better understanding of what it is. Kind of like how I went to go find voice.
We'll see.
I mean, we could also just see if I can send you on like a, I don't know, spirit trip, just by getting you to hallucinate really badly.
They don't really work on me properly.
Really?
Not that well.
Would you be willing to try it if it could work on you?
You might need a lot of it.
I'm aware.
Wolf can scratch his head. I don't know. I have to think about it.
All right, yeah, just keep me posted. I don't want to force anything on you, but I just wanted you to like know of things that happen that you seem to be unaware of.
There are a lot of weird things happening.
Yeah, there are. I mean, shit, man. I was talking to a god a few days ago and then blew up a church. Oh shit, shouldn't have told you that. Anyways,
Time for you to drink. That was one of the things we took the drinking game on.
oh, you're right.
Wolf reaches over to his bag, sitting beside the place and just hand you something.
Thank you. I'm gonna go get spores off of me because Ipos vomited on me, and I still feel
Oh yeah, let
disgusting.
me help. As Wolf's gonna grab a bucket.
No, oh wait, oh god, yeah.
Insert yaki sex.
Meanwhile,
People just hear a distant explosion across campus.
And then a massive glowing green glow from the
It
bathtub.
wasn't really an explosion. You gotta remember, Aaron's grenades
Yeah,
are
no,
not
it's-
actually grenades. They're
It's
filament
filament.
whippy.
I mean, it still makes quite a loud noise.
Yeah, it makes a metal screeching sound, and then the sound of like whipping metal fibers.
If anything, isn't that kind of worse for one of your friends?
Yes.
Meanwhile, when Wolf was doing what he did before, the kind of noise was almost kind of like the sound of like wood kind of warping and like almost like breaking of like twigs, that kind of thing.
The
Like,
most
it's that kind of noise when someone's like going through like heavy bushes, right? And you like, hear the bushes moving and snapping.
the creakiest wood house ever.
Would anyone else have anything we'd be doing on the Sunday night?
Airpus will be finding a fish bowl.
That's true.
Or
And you could probably-
or barrel, something suitable.
You could probably... I'm trying to think about what we're doing, but... I mean, I suppose the general supplies would have probably like a glass tank or something you could have.
It's one of those
Maybe
things,
just like-
considering it's Airpus, I'm actually kind of leaning towards like the big-ass barrel, like a barrel, you know what I mean.
Once again,
Yeah.
a general supply store will have a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a barrel.
Hell yeah, barrel for my evil eel.
Which I then look forward to. I look forward to the scene of Ippos clearly trying to roll it by standing on it over to the door.
Yeah, that... It'd probably start just like pushing it along, and then he gets that sort of look. You know the sort of look, and next thing you know, he's on top of the barrel, badly balancing, trying to get it back.
I'm more concerned about the
quite,
evil
quite
eel.
reasonably balancing, actually. And yeah, don't worry about the evil eel. It's fine. You know, you gave him to me. You're not allowed to worry about him anymore.
I feel like a lot of the scar's going to have an aneurysm every time I walk past Ippos' room.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting it to. And Ippos will be pissed at Alana if something happens to his new friend. Their fault.
Listen, Alana can't watch that thing at night. She got a cage, now it talks and complains about the cage. She can't, like, keep it in it anymore. She just has to trust that it won't kill her roommate.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for Ippos is that he has the room by himself, so he doesn't need to worry about anyone else messing with his evil eel. Sort of.
He just wakes up one day to find it full of acid.
Yes. And the eel just happily sitting in the middle of it.
That reminds me, though.
The eel's going to acid resistance. Run.
I mean, it's evil. It'll have acid resistance.
Oh god, it's abyssal.
Yeah, probably. Or demonic. One of the two.
Abyssal is demonic, but yeah.
Well.
Infernal would be the other one.
Yeah, either way, it's that sort of thing. Also...
Oh, it's a demon eel. Hope it doesn't eat souls.
Bug.
How hard did Alana scarf spaz? I can differentiate between infernal and abyssal purely based off of how hard it freaks out.
Not that hard. Not hard enough to indicate that it's like from the lower planes, at least.
Okay, so it's either neutral evil or lawful evil, or it's just kinda evil and tainted. Either way, it's not gonna eat your brain.
Either way, it's not an actual demon or infernal or anything like that. It's just at best or worst tainted. I also messaged Sideline about combining certain items after it was mentioned last time, because I believe you were the one.
Right now.
Oh, really? Why not?
I'm busy. I have things to do.
I mean, how long would it actually take?
Yeah, I'd say probably a day worth of crafting, unless
Yeah.
I've already said something in it. Oh wait, no, I've already said how long it takes.
Yeah, where was that? That was the...
It's above the items, or in the magic items.
And I
ones
don't
at
have the
top.
cash for that.
I forgot that actually. Costing... Aisle. There
It's
we go.
400
Items
gold.
combo. There we go. I found it. With 400 gold, I could sell some more special coins and all that, but if you don't have time to make it now anyway, then I won't.
Also, Rose, your scarf is unfortunately still kind of in ramp mode, but you do manage to pull one thing from it, which is its name.
Oh, what's its name?
If you look at the scarf handout, you'll see.
Oh boy. I'm gonna assume it's Agnades? Agnades? One of those two.
I was going with Agnodias.
Agnodias, okay, makes sense. Like I stole the last part of Voldy's name. Vildia is probably in that case. I don't know how to spell or use words. This is why I write instead.
The name was supposed to be like, reminiscent of Vildeus or Vildias or however you say it.
Makes sense. Well, at least I got a name. That's
That's
all I
good.
really got.
No longer have to keep calling it Scarf.
Oh, I gave those paralytic mushrooms to Nell.
With it constantly calling it Scarf is probably another one of those things it's bitching about now. Like,
I think it's-
Probably a little bit.
It's like, I have had a name this whole time, you know.
Yeah. Sounds like a personal problem.
It sort of understands considering it hasn't been able to talk properly until recently, but it's also going to bitch from the principal.
Like, yeah, if you'd researched it properly, you'd know that it had a name.
Alana just mutters under her breath that maybe you should have told Vildias to talk to it or talk to her about its name at least.
No logic here, only rage.
Fair.
Ooh, I have an idea. Now, are there any good fire spells for this?
Oh, Torrin, one thing I will also do is you have a lot of everything's Candle could potentially slot into. If an ability is very similar to one that I've already made up, I will tell you. But of course, you can still kind of go through with it if you want. Redundancy doesn't hurt terribly much sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to mostly just been looking around for some low-level magic items that I could base the amount of power off of.
Mhm.
And I think I have an idea.
Ooh.
Essentially playing off of something like the Ring of Spell Storing,
Okay.
and basically just have like maybe a once per day use of some fire spell or another. I'm just kind of looking around at spell lists right now.
Fair enough. And if you
Burning
wanted it to be
Disarm looks like
like,
a very good one, though. I'm not gonna lie.
it's the easier first. It's like what, one of the two free first level fire spells you can grab. Most classes can grab fairly easily. The only
Yeah,
other
no,
thing I can think of is Produce Flame.
yeah, I mean, Produce Flame is also pretty good. I wouldn't say no to Produce Flame.
I can't remember what the item's called, but if you wanted to have it be something like, oh, you can cast a spell into it, and then you could use your own spell slot to basically prepare and cast from it. But
That
only
sounds
hold
like
like
a
one
Ring of
spell
Spell
at a time.
Storing.
Is it? I've never used them.
A Ring of Spell Knowledge.
I mean, that also fits.
Yeah, but looking at the equivalent power to the General's Crown, it's like, I can still get a little more out of this.
That's fair.
Which is why I was thinking just like the once per day, just free spell of a fire descriptor not on my list. Which I'm keeping to first level because I'm not trying to break anything here, but
Also because second level doesn't get very many fire spells. There's like what, burning flame orb thing and fiery shurikens.
don't forget Scorching Ray.
Okay, there's also scorching.
Which is the
Forgot
best of all Ray builds.
Look, I mean, if you want to give me Flaming Sphere, Flaming Shuriken, or Scorching Ray, I'm not going to say no, but I'm
I mean, I
not
might
going
have
to
that be one
ask
of the
for it.
upgrades.
Why don't
Where it's
you
like-
just say, I gain the fire domain, essentially?
I will say no to that because that's exactly what one of the other items is.
Oh, okay.
But the spell on the fire domain is Produce Flame. So
Right. What I was thinking is just say, okay, slightly more powerful than gain a spell slot per day, like gain the fire domain.
It's
If you
still
wanna
kind of
be-
limited by what you can do.
which
Yeah.
means in the fire domain, it's not a whole lot more stuff.
No, it isn't. But it would give him a sort of a cantrip ability that is better than cantrips with the firebolt.
Well, apparently that's something I'm going to get access to later down the line, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, for right now, it's like my options are for this idea are looking like burning disarm or produce flame
Okay,
or
that could
burning
be-
hands, but that's something I've already got myself. So
But I'll have you do is just write it out to me in a PM so I can copy it down somewhere, and then we can go with that for now.
all right.
Yes. Does anything else happen in the night? Because I do not believe so.
I mean, Wolf and Alana are gonna go talk, but that's whatever. Comparatively speaking, we can also just gloss over this GMX, but Alana would probably earlier in the day in this case
Mhm.
go track down Roland and basically do a trust exercise of, hey, look, I can heal you.
Hey, look at this thing I'm holding. Don't be afraid. Slap.
Basically, yeah.
Look at my left hand. Punches him with the right.
There will be no breakfast waiting for people when they wake up in the morning.
Not entirely true.
God damn it, Wolf, you're failing your
Wolf
one
has not
job.
produced me breakfast this morning.
No, it was not Wolf.
He has one job here.
Someone else is free to cook breakfast.
Well,
Okay, I'm on it.
well, actually, you'll end up finding out. I imagine the reason that didn't happen. Wolf had this little thing for the cooking class, which I imagine he didn't go on because he's tired yesterday. You'll find that maybe cooking class didn't necessarily go on, but a few other people did kind of go, oh, well, Wolf's not here. I guess we can still, try with some varying results.
Right.
I believe the only person who actually managed to make for a cooking check is Nell, who'll essentially end up coming with what appears to be, oh fuck, what are they called? Let's just go with dumplings. I had an Indonesian dish in mind, but I've completely forgotten what the name of it was.
Not exactly a breakfast food, but Ippos will eat it anyway.
Yeah, she's like, I did kind of make these as like a snacky thing, but then I noticed Wolf was tired, so I just felt, I'll just make a bunch of them and we can eat them tomorrow. They're kind of okay cold, I think. Right?
They have gone.
I don't mean to alarm you now, but normally pork isn't great cold.
And they're not all pork. This one is, she pokes it, vegetable.
Yes.
Ash just eats one and goes, I have an idea.
Hmm?
And with that 16 on my profession as chef, basically it's like toss them in the oven with a bit of sauce, whipped up really quick, heat them up, still keeping them relatively moist, add a little bit of flavor, and serve. Bam, breakfast.
Oh, they come with sparkles.
Oh,
Probably.
there we go.
I mean, Ippos will eat
Speaking
them
of
either
sparkles,
way,
I
so...
realized that another first level fire spell is Snapdragon Fireworks.
Is that you saying that Epos isn't very picky, Tinder?
What has ever given you the idea that he's picky?
It's true, he did eat a bunch of mushrooms last time.
He eats spider legs. Like raw spider legs.
Munch.
Maybe very good.
Crunch.
Goddamn kobold. I want you to know, just so you know, Aaron still does occasionally just look at Ippos and go, oh my god, what the fuck? There is an actual monster right there. It has lots of teeth, claws, it's horrifying, it could kill me.
It makes me
There's
so
still
happy.
those moments for Aaron, like, oh my god, you are a literal feral animal.
He's not a feral animal. He's, like, sentient.
He's got teeth, lots of them. They're very pointy.
Doesn't mean he's an animal. But yes, it highly amuses me.
Can I heal?
Yes, you can. Forever, assuming you actually go to bed, of course, you can heal. You can regain your, your shit. You can heal any ability damage that you got, assuming it isn't a lot.
Yay, I can have my
didn't
spells.
take any, I think. Nope, I'm good.
Spells.
The only person who really took any ability damage was Ash.
How many have I? Know it's more than none.
2, I think.
I think it's
Should be
1
2.
plus score. No, yeah, 1 plus score.
So 2.
You don't get any of the main spells.
I beg pardon.
Oh wait, you get the
'Cause
main shit?
I do. I am weather.
Oh yeah, he's a druid!
Yes. I've never I've never really used the first level domain because it's obscuring mist. I've not really had a need to use it.
I love Obscuring Mist, personally.
I mean, it's a useful spell. I've just not been in the right situation for it.
No, you have Fog Cloud.
Yeah,
More Cloud. Yay.
yeah. Don't you dare try and take my domain spells from me. I will fight you.
I just forget because usually druids have like animal companions and shit.
I apparently have teeth and claws. I will fight you.
Ipos, I want you to know, last night, those spores were everywhere. It was disgusting. It took me 4.
He's just grinning at you, like
Stuck to me like
face plastered with dumplings, and he's just grinning through them.
there's still black gunk on your teeth from the mushrooms.
That's the flavor. They tasty taste.
Do you need like a better brush?
Sort of,
Do you brush your teeth?
sort of blinks and looks at you blankly.
Oh my god. Petition the school for a blanket civility class for people they picked out of the wild.
I brush Gale sometimes. It feel good.
That's nice.
There's just a lot of snoring from Wolf's room.
He's taking a nap. To be fair, though, I think he went through his entire cellular regeneration process in yesterday. Normally, it takes a person like 7 years. Whatever. Passing question for the rest of my friends. You all worried about Wolf in just general?
No.
No. Oh, fun. He
Now
nice.
he's called into a dungeon about amorphous blob monsters who are terrorizing the local populace and also just happens to be filled with various plant monsters.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not first time we hear voices. You have voice called voice.
This entire school is a very odd place filled with odd students. This sort of thing is almost to be expected, really.
I half doubt it's because of what's in his bloodline and more because of the fact that that probably took a lot out of him.
I know
If
why
you're
he's sleeping. He's probably really fucking tired. I mean, you would be too. Um, uh, I'm just more concerned about it in general, not the sleeping.
I mean, I hunt demons and I have demons in my bloodline. Sometimes it just happens. It's unfortunate, but your bloodline doesn't define who you are, and I'm sure Wolf kind of understands that just watching me.
Oh
I
yeah, no.
understand.
If my bloodline defined who I am, I should probably be attempting to literally burn all of the evil from the world in some kind of righteous path to redemption for my ancestors.
Oh,
Alana
you
waves
and
her hand.
Alana can do the same. Work together.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that it seems a little bit more than a bloodline. I've read up on bloodlines. I've gotten curious about it and just started picking up books and reading about it. And that's a little bit of an active thing. He can kind of just talk to it and like ask it to do things more than a normal bloodline for him should be able to do. It kind of has this weird autonomy.
Ash holds up Bluebell. My powers come from a being beyond understanding or comprehension. Your argument is invalid.
That's a skunk.
It is the thing that gave the skunk the intelligence to be able to read and write if she had hands.
It's a well-trained skunk.
No, I kind of agree with Ash. Sometimes the way the bloodline manifests is it's more active, less so something that happens from your ancestors. Um,
Uh,
just normal people can have weird, bizarre shit, quite frankly, happen to them sometimes. It's not always passed down generation to generation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Magic's weird.
Yeah, all right. All right. I mean, just thought I'd bring it up.
No, I understand. I think if he had issues, though, he would talk to us. Wolf doesn't seem like the kind of person to just sit and wallow in his own misery.
Yeah, but he's also very confused himself, and he doesn't really know where to go to for finding answers, and that's kind of why I'm bringing it up.
I mean, I think Ash and I wouldn't be the worst to at least talk to about if you want to direct him somewhere.
I did.
We both kind of have magical beings that direct us in places, so we kind of understand.
show, by the way. You guys care about? Never mind.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm just wondering about the fact that taking orders from on high. I don't know. I just don't like taking orders in the first place, and having it sort of be disembodied is not
Oh,
making it better.
my patron doesn't really give me orders as such. As long as I don't do anything to directly offend them, I'm usually just fine.
Mine talks to me
That
in
being
very
said, though, if my patron does give me any direct orders, I must comply or lose all of my magical ability.
Mm,
To be fair, patrons as a whole, generally speaking, aren't the most demanding, and they're not gods. They're not annoyingly obnoxious with their demands. Because a lot of gods are. Patrons
Sounds
just
like
kind of
something
chill
that
and
I'm
relax.
honestly.
It depends on the patron, Alana. And I've heard stories about some patrons demanding life sacrifice.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so
that's kind of your fault if you just kind of go with that.
yeah, I've done a bit of reading on patrons and gods too, and patrons and gods are weird crossover where patrons are both simultaneously less powerful and more powerful than a god.
They're not as powerful as gods, I'll tell you that.
To the individual, they can be.
To the average person, it might seem like that.
Yeah, like something ancient laws that they don't abide by. Something, yeah, whatever.
I mean, I'm sure you realize there are not anywhere near as many witches and warlocks as there are clerics.
That is another point why gods are technically more powerful
Yeah,
than
they can bestow their gifts upon many more people than a patron theoretically could.
patrons
That
tend to
being
make people.
said, I don't think anybody knows for sure because the amount of people who've been able to talk with one directly, I could probably count on my hand. Not that I know any.
Is the voice a god? Or is he a patron? Because he kind of blends them.
I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't even know who Nell's patron is. I barely know what my patron is. That being said, that's more like I know their name and what they're generally about than I do know anything about them.
I'm pretty sure most witches don't actually know much about their patron, right? It's just kind of there. There's very few instances of them knowing too terribly much, from what I understand.
What's that?
Yeah, it's all kind of a thing of we are a being of such and such, and I will grant your desire for power if you make a pact with me. Sometimes it happens in a dream. Sometimes a talking animal comes approaching you. The pact is made a little bit differently for different people and different patrons. I should ask Nell how she made her pact.
Could you just go talk to them? Or do you just not?
It's never directly.
Uh,
If I could talk to my patron directly, I still wouldn't do it because that idea terrifies me in ways that I'm sure only you could probably imagine, considering how terrified of everything you normally are.
I mean, it's not more terrifying than going to talk to some very large person.
Mm,
Because it's already maximally terrifying.
Imagine a very large person the size of a mountain who could rip open the landscape and create a lake just because they wanted to.
Sounds like
I mean, I kind of understand Ash. If I could talk to my god more, I mean, I can certainly pray to her. I kind of don't want to, though. I don't want to accidentally upset her. If she needs me, she'll talk to me. And I feel like the less time I spend talking to her outside of really needing to, the better. Because I don't want to piss off an ethereal being.
on the other hand, you could, if you talk to them more, you could build a more understanding relationship about what kind of benefits and costs things are. I mean, I understand both ends of it, but I mean, yeah. Don't get
Maybe
me
when
wrong.
we're older and can
Drove,
understand it better.
it drove me crazy. I eventually ended up talking to voice because I just couldn't handle whatever the fuck that was going on. But I'm glad I did because eventually shit kind of sorted itself out.
Yeah, I have no idea what voice is or is about. So
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
guess
need.
I've-
To be fair, Aaron, Ash and I are going to be around for a few more centuries, so we have time to talk to our stuff if we really want to.
Never mind.
They're very long libraries.
yeah, which is why I'm kind of glad an elf of all things asked me out.
I suppose that's convenient.
Alana just kind of gets pale for a second. Paler sincerity is somehow. And shakes her head.
It's okay, Roland will just evolve into a primordial ooze.
Ash
Never.
just sees Alana go pale and go, "Oh, I wouldn't worry too much."
Roland's kind of weird. Maybe something happens with the fact that he spews blood that can kill other things. I don't know.
We'll choose to hope that is the case. Yeah. Anyways, that was just me asking. About Wolf. We talked about it in the bathhouse, and I was just concerned. And wanted to get your guys'
Wait,
opinion.
you were in the bathhouse with Wolf?
Rooms.
Okay then.
As you're all talking, Ippos just suddenly ducks underneath the table and starts talking to something himself. He's just like, "Hey, how you doing? What you got there? Hey." Too much Cadme there. Calm down.
Elf just looks at you and starts laughing. Are you... Apos?
What are you doing? Ah!
Yes. Yes. Hi, Ippos. You got something for me?
Oh my god.
How you know my name? Who are you?
I've got... Could you put me on the table, please?
Yes. And he'll sort of pick it up and just go back out from the table, and he'll basically deposit a fairy in the middle of the table.
What is that?
His little fairy, his friend. It's okay.
Why does it look like it's about to pass out?
Because it's very small and was climbing up table leg.
Probably this fairy does not have wings. Life is hard for tiny fairy. It kind of like scrabbles a bit with table. Probably try to like get to a glass of water.
I'll sort of
Pushes over
slush
hers.
some water into a lower bowl for it so it doesn't have to climb the glass as well.
It will accept your offering of water readily, just gulping it down before. I hate this job.
Okay.
Yes.
No, continue. Just have more water. Then take your time.
No, I'm good. Epos? Is there an Epos here?
Yes, hello, yes. Waving.
Oh, thank God. I have a delivery here from one. It pulls out a very tiny notepad. Lazuli Doliag?
Oh, yes. And he's sort of... He's trying to reach into the messenger bag himself, but I imagine it's too small for him to do so.
It is very small. Think about like Barbie size.
Yeah, he sort of goes to grab it, pauses, like, No, I break that. Yes, what message? Yes. How's she doing? She good?
No touch that. I'm not sure, but I believe this would probably answer your questions. As it digs into the bag and pulls out about a finger-sized crystal, and it rolls it over to you.
Oh, thank you. He takes the crystal and hops away from the table a little bit, and it's like, take long as you need to rest. Take food. We have dumpling food. It good but messy.
No, finally my job here is done, and the fairy slowly starts to turn to dust.
Wait, what?
Is that a
confused.
normal thing?
It is likely the result of a spell effect.
With the fairy, it's hard to say what's normal.
I was gonna give him like, a tip, but okay. Dust works.
Big tip: try calling it out before climbing table.
There's no response. He's dead, Jim.
Oh, I didn't get my chance to catch a fairy and keep it.
Aaron sort of takes the dust and sweeps it into a vial and closes that and puts it in her vest.
I haven't got fairy.
Maybe.
I could totally see that being a component for glitter dust.
So, just what? It just gestures to what just happened.
His message from friend. It's fine.
Okay.
Ipos has sort of wandered away a bit and he's holding the crystal and he's shaking it and he's trying to work out how to actually make the message work.
Well, thankfully the crystal is something you're vaguely aware of, before at least, because you've been using it in your interviews.
I figured
It's a
it would be
recording crystal.
I figured it'd be similar to that, but there's a difference between hitting record and hitting play. And Ipos is
Sure.
currently working out which button is which.
Give me a use magic device.
God,
One.
this is where I'm going to nat 1, and he hits record by accident and just wipes over the message.
No, it's just a natural 1. All you hear is message deleted.
Oh, that funny message. Wonder why she sent that. Okay.
Jinxed it now.
Almost. That's a nat 2.
Thankfully, Ipos is very skilled at apparently manipulating items. The one thing he can kind of immediately tell as a small image bursts into the air is this appears to not be quite as quality of a crystal as the ones you're used to using, as a very wibbly, grainy illusion appears over it.
Oh, come on. You could get better crystal than this. What you doing?
Inside, for, well, Ipos, you see your old friend, Lazuli Doliag,
Yay.
looking very much like how she usually does. A strange elfin figure with just absolutely decked in jewellery, earrings, necklaces, rings, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she was a bit decadent.
Reminds me of Ash.
Perhaps, except this is a bit gaudier.
She's also very small, what I remember.
Yeah, about halfling sized-ish. It looks like if someone like
God,
bred
she
an
was
elf and a
smaller than that,
halfling.
Holy shit. Okay, halfling size. There you go.
At least if I remember what size they are supposed to be. I'll confirm that later. But as the image bursts to life, you just hear a very distant, kind of staticky sounding, "Hey, is this on? Rockwell, is this on? Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Hey, Epos, I hope you get this soon. How are you? So, a bit of bad news. Oh, but also, some good news. I might be in a bit of trouble. Apparently, one of my sisters took some guy's wand collection like 2 years ago, and he's still got him. He's so stupid, I know. I was going to come visit, but looks like I have to deal with this mess for a while. What? Oh,
Shush.
I'm running out of time? Oh, anyway, a little birdie told me that my sister should be in your area in the neck of the woods, so, if you see her, say hey, tell her that I said hey. You should probably recognize her when you see her, but don't talk about... And the crystal cuts out.
What?
Just
I'm so
quickly for reference, they're tiny sized.
Okay, never mind.
So
They're not
certainly
halfling-sized.
not
They're smaller than
halfling
halfling
size. But perhaps she was holding the recording really closely and it makes her look a lot bigger than she is. But
It's like
they
when your
are
grandma
tiny
tries
size.
to use FaceTime.
They are a doll-sized woman. As he listens to all of this and he's grinning, and then it cuts out. It's like, oh, good to hear. Good friend. She doing well. Not sure what she meant by sister coming here. Yeah.
What?
What?
Okay. Time out. Who was that?
His friend.
Okay. Relation.
Friend.
Okay. What was she?
Little Fey person.
Okay. Cool.
I'm trying to figure out whether the situation as a whole is confusing to Aaron, or whether it's the fact that Ipos had friends that weren't also monsters.
A lot of information at her at once. A lot.
Yeah, can I get a type out of that as well, J-Mac?
Yes.
Thank you.
Got one ready.
That is a
Says
lot of
reading off the
information.
Can you just hand me the script, please?
It do be like that sometimes.
Just not gonna roll because there's no reason why Aaron would know.
Oh boy, I can't wait to spend a stupid amount of gold on Tome of Epics because I have nothing to buy. And I don't have armor. I already have a pretty good weapon and just kind of scales. What do I buy?
Remember, Rose, I do have craft wondrous item now.
I already spent money on making myself a spell focus because Alana's fully done with all of her classes minus the exam.
You
Because that's
bitch.
Alana.
I've barely started mine.
Yeah, well, I'm playing a character that's really smart and really cares. You're
Yeah.
playing a character that looks at stuff and goes, "Ah, yes, Fey person," and keeps a pet evil snake eel.
I mean,
Then, to be fair, we got like massive extra credit for the island.
For
yeah.
one of your classes,
I mean,
yeah.
I've sort of technically a third finished one of my classes. My other classes, I'm pretty much sorted apart from the final exam. My magical theory, I've basically not started.